The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
The trade deadline doesn't matter. You know why? Because the Canucks made the biggest trade in the NHL last season, but it's paying dividends right now. Filip Hronek is one of the best defensemen in the NHL. We'll dive into his brilliance next year on Locked On Canucks.
Damn. You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks writer for Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into this episode, we got to thank you for tuning in to Locked On Canucks. It is your team every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. If you haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? Make sure you go subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. I also got to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Sleeper. Download that Sleeper app and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Coming up on today's episode, again, the biggest trade in the NHL this season. It happened last year, but it doesn't matter because Filip Hronek is absolutely paying dividends for the Vancouver Canucks. He's been one of the best defensemen in the NHL. How good has he been among NHL defensemen? We'll touch on that. We'll also touch on the Canucks GOATs of the week and talk a little bit about Jet getting called up to the Vancouver Canucks. Before we do any of that, I got to say, hey, I said 3 out of 4 points this week it was going to happen. So another point for your boy Beggsy, my co-host. I'm not sure what he predicted, but I'm going to introduce him anyways. Kyle Bound, what's going on, brother?
Dude, of course I predicted getting 4 points, okay? The expectations are high, and I'm only assuming the best from the West, okay? That's because this is Locked On Canucks, okay? Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs, and the people off to a good start, okay? Go Canucks go from Callum Sandiu. Go Canucks go from JS. A let's go from Mr. Whale, okay? It's a team effort. It's not about you or I. It's not about you and you and you. It's just about the Vancouver Canucks. That's just the truth. It's also about the Don't Doze Art Lab. Shout out for them for, only providing the West Coast bias as well. Anywho, big weekend. A lot of sports talk, right? And the Vancouver Canucks did what Trevor did and got 3 out of 4 points. They're not really playing at their best, but they're still finding ways to make progress. And that's a sign of a really, really good team, man. Your Vancouver Canucks are a really, really good team. June is on the horizon, possibly. And a big part of the reason for all the success is Filip Hronek. And I don't think he gets talked about enough. I really don't, because it was the most dynamic change going into the season for any of these elite teams in the league. Like, you just went from Luke Shen to Filip Hronek as your number 2 D-man, as your second most important defenseman. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's funny because I think that last season, Ethan Bear was probably the number 2 defenseman. Ethan Bear barely played for Washington yesterday, right? I know he's recovering from off-season shoulder surgery, so I should pick up
Luke Shen was number 2 D-man. This guy's standing up for Quinn Hughes, man, our captain, you know what I'm saying? And also playing pretty damn good. Like, dude, who got paid more? Ethan Bear, I know he got hurt, but who would have got paid more, Luke Shen or Ethan Bear? Luke Shen doing his thing.
Yeah, let's not spend too much time arguing about which mediocre defenseman was the second best defenseman on the Canucks last year, because now the Canucks have Filip Hronek. And again, I do think his brilliance is overshadowed by the fact that you got so many all-stars on this team. But not even just this weekend, but I think over the past number of games, for me, his brilliance has really been on display. Just looking at even like some possession metrics, right? This guy, more often than not, is on the right side of the possession battle for the Vancouver Canucks relative to his teammates. I mean, you're not seeing this guy make a lot of mistakes. I don't think he's perfect on the PK if I'm going to nitpick, but man, oh man, he's so sharp with the puck. He's not quite maybe as nifty as Quinn Hughes with the pickpockets and whatnot, but he is just so good defensively, so good in transition. I know there's some numbers that think he's not great defensively, and to those I say, get out of here. Because again, you're just not seeing this guy make a lot of mistakes out there, right? But this weekend, I think you really had the full Hronek package on display. Look, the Canucks got 3 of 4 possible points this weekend. They wouldn't have got that extra point if it wasn't for Filip Hronek, okay? He was, in my mind, the best Canuck on the ice against the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday. That breakaway goal was brilliant. Man, oh man, I love so much what Filip Hronek is doing, man.
So many things happen around Filip Hronek. I'm telling you, if you look at the thumbnail for that Detroit recap game, behind the actual thumbnail that we used is a face of Filip Hronek, because I was ready to talk about the re-debut to Detroit of Filip Hronek, because he put on a show. And I feel as if that could have been, and maybe it still is, the perfect reset game for that guy. Because he went from being really, really good and setting the bar so high to just really good, you know? And Vancouver Canucks fans, we're spoiled right now, okay? Because really good or even playing good is not good enough. Look at this comment, okay, from Gmod. Isn't it crazy how we went from playoffs would be great to the last 2 games have been unacceptable? Again, compared to the first 20 games that Filip Hronek played, his last 25, they definitely haven't really been comparable. But, and I said this way before, I do think we can see that October, November Filip Hronek again. I really do, because I actually think he's really good. I don't think he's perfect. I think sometimes he still does make mistakes. He's just human. He's just human, but he's always willing to try to make a play. That's a game breaker. That's a mother effer, okay? I wish I could say the word, but no, he has that in his eyes. And you know what also says that? He's one of the most interesting guys in the league. He's playing in the biggest hockey-driven market, some would say, right? Like, it's not Toronto, but it's Vancouver. It's nuts out here. We're hungry. And this guy is our number 2 D-man, part of the biggest trade, and he hasn't spoken to the media once. Again, this mother beep, you know what I'm saying? He's a dog. He's a baller. You see it in his face. You see it in the way he moves. He only cares about hockey. And I don't mind having players who always want to make a play and are that efficient with it. Again, not perfect, but more often than not, he's helping you win games.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about what's going up on in Media Row for the Canucks. And, I've been up there. They've been on the road, but, I'm down to third string goalie at Daily Hive. Shout out to Noah Strang, Nucks Misconduct alum, my old coworker that got hired for the Daily Hive job. So I'm in there less, but I did notice earlier this season, I think it was the Islanders game where Hronek scored. And at Media Row, we asked for Hronek post game, and the PR guy was like, "Good luck with that." It's like, why?
No chance, bro. Because he's Mr. Serious, man. He's only about the games. Maybe he only talks when he wins the cup, or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's when we hear his voice. That's kind of cool. That's okay, man. Again, people give Vancouver, the fan base, the media, so much of a hard time, right? Saying we don't respect the players, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's demanded anything from Filip Hronek. And that's, again, in due in large part to his success on the ice. Now, what have you been most impressed by with him? Like, and you know what? I'm going to throw 2 questions at you. Why not? Okay. We're just talking here. I feel as if, and I haven't watched a lot of film, but this is kind of what you want a guy like Tom Willander doing as well when he's doing his thing.
Yeah, I think the 2 things that stand out to me most about Hronek is his ability to get the puck up the ice quickly when he's in the defensive zone. Like, there's no messing around with this guy. He usually makes the simple play, but he's a good passer. So he's able to get the puck up the ice pretty quick. And the thing that probably impresses me about him the most is the fact that he's been able to be so productive with barely any power play time, right? I don't know. We saw it in the Detroit game over the weekend, like a full 2 minutes for the second unit, which was a little bizarre. But the guy's barely been on the power play this season. He ranks 9th overall in points among defensemen. And the 8 guys ahead of him, Hughes, McCarr, Dobson, Hedman, Josi, Bouchard, Riley, and Dahlin, those guys are all like quarterback PP1 locks that have played way more on the power play than Filip Hronek. At even strength, Filip Hronek actually leads the league with 25 assists ahead of Quinn Hughes. In terms of even strength points, only Noah Dobson and Hughes have more. But again, Hughes with potting all those goals has padded his stats. Hronek, again, leading the league with 25 assists at even strength. Pretty unbelievable. And on top of that, the guy also leads the league in another department. He leads the league with everyone's favorite plus minus, a plus 35 so far this season. Filip Hronek. I gotta check quickly what the Canucks record is, but he might be on pace to break that too.
Damn, I already said it, man. And again, people may think I'm crazy, but if I'm assuming the best and I'm thinking cup or bust, and the Canucks may win a cup in June, and this is the next and first version of the super core, the Vancouver Canucks, a team that actually gets it done. Filip Hronek, the second best defenseman in Canucks history, man. Because you're gonna tell me what? You're gonna tell me this guy's not as good as peak Alex Edler? Like what he's doing? No, I'm being serious.
Oh no, he's better than Alex. He's better than Alex Edler for sure. I think Alex Edler against Steady Eddie was a bit more physical, but Hronek
Steady Eddie, bro. Dude, you
Yeah.
should have named your son Eddie, bro. Come on, man. What are you doing, bro?
Eddie Beggs, holy.
Eddie Beggs. Yeah,
All right, let's
you gotta change your name to Eddie, dude. Eddie Beggs,
yeah.
bro.
I know I threw one of these at you recently, Kyle, but I'm going to do it again. I got to ask you a
Okay.
question before we wrap the segment here.
Trevor's trivia starts now.
This is an easy one, man. I'm not going to tell you to list 5 things, but Filip Hronek right now at a plus 35. It's the second highest plus minus the Canucks player has ever had in a single season. Who has the highest plus minus in a single season in Canucks history?
Damn. Okay, what's the era though, man? You gotta help me out
Well,
here, man.
it's the
Dream
dynasty of the
Nightmare
fake
team.
dynasty of the 2010s. Yeah,
Okay, the Nightmare team, right?
I'll give you the year even.
nightmares.
It's 2009, 2010.
I'm gonna call that era the Daydreams and Nightmare era, okay? Because the dream didn't actually come true. Okay, who is it? Damn, that's a good question. Okay, I'm gonna say Dan Hamhuis.
Well, pretty close. Christian
Kevin
Ehrhoff.
Bieksa? Christian Ehrhoff? Okay,
No.
cool. See, I went. Okay,
Christian Ehrhoff.
It is what it is, man. Okay,
Christian
Trevor, you know
Ehrhoff-
what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Does say Christian Ehrhoff has a plus 36. That is the club record for plus minus. So, I mean, Filip Hronek is on pace, and Quinn Hughes for that matter, to be like 1 and 2. We'll see what the rest of the season brings. But again, I think we've seen some lulls in this game, some metrics that say he's not great defensively, but I just think that's all hogwash when you watch him play hockey. He's a pretty damn good defensive player.
Okay, 2 things. The people, let us know in the comments below how much you paying Filip Hronek, okay? Because we went 11 minutes without bringing that up because you know what? The sun is shining. Anyways, Trevor,
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, okay? It kind of connects to Filip Hronek because I feel as if this guy might have. I don't watch any Red Wing games, but I'm going to say this. Maybe he replaced Hronek on the depth chart, right? But we had that Wallman guy, right? Who scores the overtime shootout winner or the penalty shot winner in overtime. And he does the gritty, the dance move, right? Breaks it down. Okay, it's the new moonwalk. That's what people are saying, man. The new moonwalk. Okay, he does that and quote unquote embarrasses the Canucks, maybe. And now we also saw what Riley did to the Ottawa player, Ridley Gregg or whatever. What a name, man. You should have named your kid Greg too, okay? Greg Beggs. That would have been something. Anyways, do you think something's going to happen on Thursday? Because JS is saying the Canucks are going to get their revenge on that Wallman gritty. Honestly speaking, before you answer, I got to say this. I don't think anything's going to happen. It's all good. Let's say, yo, dude, maybe Zadorov would do something. I don't know. But one of our best players, we're not going to cross-check the dude in the face. We're not doing that. I don't know. I don't think it's over with. The Canucks are moving forward, you know? And that's okay. Straight up.
You know what? Here's the thing. Wallman's done that against a number of teams, right? It's like it's not unique to the Canucks. The guy likes to do his dumb little dance every time he scores a goal. But yeah, I will say that I don't know if there's necessarily going to be revenge, but that was a very chippy game against the Wings. Like for 2 teams that never see each other, like there was a lot of scrums, there's a lot of brouhahas. You got Alex DeBrincat throwing his little muffin punches towards Ian Cole. I thought Josh was going to beat the crap out of Sider at one point. Like there were some scrums in that game, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know if it's necessarily revenge, but I wouldn't be surprised if Thursday's a chippy contest. And I'm looking forward to it.
I like that answer. No revenge, but just physicality all around. You know, again, both teams, Detroit and Vancouver, I'm not going to compare the teams, but they're going through a lot. Like their transition has been pretty swift when it comes to like the emotion within a 12-month span because now they're playing meaningful games as well. Patrick Kane in the lineup, right? Things are different. And when those 2 teams match up in the regular season, maybe, just maybe, you'll get something. Straight up.
Maybe,
so I'm looking forward to that. Maybe that'll happen.
Maybe that'll happen. But I know what is going to happen is we're going to take a break and hit you up on the other side with our GOATs of the week after a 1-week hiatus. Because, hey, there was an all-star break in between. GOATs of the week coming up on the other side. Spoiler alert, Filip Hronek might be on that list. Before we get to that, I got to shout out Sleeper. It's past the halfway point of the season, and Canucks fans, guess what? You cheer for the best goddamn team in the NHL. You want to be the best at something else? Make sure you go play daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is my number one choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. All you have to do is pick whether studs like Elias Pettersson, JT Miller, or Filip will record more or less than their Sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus, minus, and more in a given game. To win a 100 times bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Canucks fans. You could win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper terms and views for details and locational availability.
Okay, we back here on Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs. Sports. A part of our lives, right? On an all-time high right now. Your team, number one, and the Super Bowl just happened. So again, sports at an all-time high. And Trevor, man, you brought up something really interesting, okay? The whole Detroit, Vancouver thing, a lot of physicality, a lot of chippiness, DeBrincat fighting Ian Cole. Again, hockey is just a crazy sport. I feel as if this is all new to me in my adult life, right? Fallen way in love with hockey again. And again, I put it on a pedestal, man. It is the best sport of all time, okay? And for a decade, after hockey dominated my life from 10 to 20, I switched over to saying the NFL was the best league or football was the best sport. Bro, I'm wrong. And we just watched the Super Bowl. Like, it was a great game. But I still got to say, hockey, when it's like that, and it's going to be like that in April, you know what I'm saying? It's coming back, playoff hockey. When hockey is being played like that, there is no better sport out there. And the athleticism, when there's a lot of skill on the ice, bro, that's beautiful to the eyes. What a sport.
Yeah, I know the Canucks deprived you of good hockey for a long time, and they deprived, you listen to the show right now, right? It was, the Canucks have missed the playoffs 7 of the past 8 seasons, and the Red Wings, too, have their own frustrations missing playoffs in the last 7 seasons consecutively. So, yeah, these are 2 teams that are starved for some good hockey, and I think they put on a fairly good show on Saturday, and let's see if they put on a good show on Thursday. But that's coming up later this week. We'll touch on the revenge game coming up for the Vancouver Canucks, but before we do that, let's do it. The GOATs of the week.
Oh, do I got to press it, Trevor?
I was hoping that you would make a goat noise yourself instead of doing the drop. Yeah. What's your best goat noise?
Hey, it's 4:20 somewhere. It's 4:20 somewhere. It's Monday. You know what? I wasn't paying attention there, okay? It is what it is. Don't ask me questions. Let me ask you a question. Do you start at number 5? Is that how we do this? Who are you calling out here?
Depends how I'm feeling this week. This is an interesting list because I feel like often it's kind of like, okay, who scored? And, did the goalies play well? There's been a lot of goalies on this list because Demko and DeSmith have been really good for the Canucks. This list feels a little bit different to me. I do have Filip Hronek at number 1. I actually thought Washington was his weakest game, but against Carolina, even that Boston game, I thought he was better of a pretty mediocre group. And obviously Detroit, he was, again, in my eyes, the best player on the ice. 3 points for your Vancouver Canucks. And yeah, we talked a lot about Filip Hronek already. The rest of the list, it's not the MVP candidates we talk about on a weekly basis here. But at number 2, I have a guy who didn't actually register a point last week.
What?
And that is Dakota Joshua.
Damn.
I just felt like watching the road trip over the past week that the third line was the best line pretty much every game. And I just felt like Joshua in particular, I just love the evolution of his game, how tenacious he's been on the forecheck, how physical he's been. Again, second in the league in hits right now. I think he's arguably our best penalty killer right now. I know we've given Bluger a lot of love for that. We've given Noah Juleson some love. But Dakota Joshua, to me, like, just such an absolute stud. I know we might not be able to keep this guy, but I'm going to keep giving him some love, man, because when I'm watching these games, Dakota Joshua is often the guy that stands out for me.
Okay. Well, I'll say this about Joshua, and you know what? You mentioned Hronek not playing good yesterday. I didn't think Joshua played well yesterday too. I'll say this also. I really don't think anyone played perfect yesterday. They were all looking forward to the Super Bowl party. Okay, whatever they planned, they were looking forward to that. Do the math. They just hung out at Connor Garland's house. What, a couple days before that? The bro level's at an all-time high. Okay, they couldn't wait to get to the bar to watch the Super Bowl. Blah blah blah. Everyone played a pretty bad game. This all being said, the Dakota Joshua, man, like, you got to sign this. I said it after Dakota Joshua put on a pretty good performance. Was it against Detroit or Carolina? I remember saying something like this, and this is crazy. Yo, Patterson, take a pay cut. Or not a pay cut, but take less on your new deal because we got to sign Dakota Joshua.
Yeah, again, he's going to be an expensive player to re-sign, but can't wait to see this guy play in the playoffs. But again, we've seen some lulls from the top 6, which is maybe a tad concerning. Maybe we'll touch on it this week. Again, this is the best overall team in the NHL, but this is Locked On Canucks, your team every day. We got to be honest with the people. But to go to Josh, oh man, just he's been such a stud. Love watching him on a night-to-night basis right now. Another guy I've loved watching, and thank God this guy finally got a promotion, Nils Höglander. He is number 3 on my goats of the week. Scored in back-to-back games. But not only that, had a disallowed goal against Boston, hit a post in that Detroit game as well. This guy could have easily had 4 goals in 3 games. But I just think he's such a good fit on that top line with Pettersson, or the Canucks second line, whatever you want to call it. That I hope he gets an extended runaway there. Now, it's a bit of give and take, right? I think Rick Tocchet even used the words wash when he was describing the line and how they played, because they were on the ice for a goal against in Washington. They were on the ice for a goal against in Detroit. But for me right now, like, give me the good with the bad and see if they can work through some growing pains, because Höglander Pettersson's working a hell of a lot better than Pettersson and Mikheyev. I don't care how defensively responsible Mikheyev seems to be.
Dude.
Höglander is just given that line and his Fred Pettersson like an extra boost right now.
Bro, we talked about it, man. Höglander's faster than Mikheyev, man. Like, he's quicker, It's something. I know speed is broken down into like 3 different attributes, but I feel like overall, when it really matters, Nils Höglander is that guy, the best skater. And you need somebody being tenacious for Pettersson, and those guys seem to have a lot of fun together. And not a perfect 120 minutes for those guys, but I think they were on the ice for like 4 goals, 5-on-5. Like, they produced 4 goals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they were producing, and that's it at the end of the day, okay? When they get their chances, they're doing the most. They're scoring goals. Can't wait to see more.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think they're on the ice for 2 goals in Detroit for sure. But arguably one of the Canucks' best lines, I think, is between that line and the third line for sure. I didn't love what I saw in Miller, Besser, and Lindholm. That's for sure. Anyways, I'll get to number 4 and 5 in the list here, Kyle. You choose who you want to talk about. Number 4, I have Connor Garland. Again, this third line went 6 games without getting a point between the 3 of them. And then Connor Garland finally gets a goal on Sunday in Washington. Again, the line has just played so well, even though they haven't been scoring. It's like they're still noticeable every single goddamn game, So,
yeah, man.
Connor Garland, again, one of my favorite Canucks this week, even though he only had 1 goal in 4 games. Hasn't mattered to me because it's just about production. That line has just been so stellar. And at number 5, no Quinn Hughes, no Elias Pettersson, no JT Miller, no Brock Besser, no Thatcher Demko.
Shout out
Noah Juulsen.
Yeah,
Noah Juulsen.
I saw it in your eyes. Buddy, Noah Juulsen making Surrey proud. Noah Juulsen, dude, shoving it to us for real. This guy saw us. This guy saw us at the Pint or anywhere downtown, like, well, what's the poppin' spot downtown to catch the game, drink a beer? If this guy's looking at us, catches us, bro, he's grabbing our heads and squeezing it, assuming that he heard the previous episodes of Locked On Canucks. Because, man, oh man, bro, I was gonna give him the bus fare not too long ago to wait at Newton Exchange and get his ass to Abbotsford. Okay, for real, in November. Think about it. So let me ask you this, Trevor, before we get to the other side. How did he do it? Break it down for me, okay? Give me the insight. How did Noah Juulsen turn it around? Makes no sense, but I'm blessed.
To me, it makes sense. It's the coaching staff, right? Look, this coaching staff turned Tyler Myers into one of the biggest jokes in the NHL, into a serviceable defenseman. They've turned Noah Juulsen into a guy who looked like he was way in over his head of the NHL level, into a guy who focuses on his strengths, plays a clean, simple game, is rock solid on the penalty kill, getting in passing lanes, doesn't pinch, doesn't get out of position, just sticks to the structure, sticks to the plan, and just gets things done, man. And I see him actually hit the score sheet as well. Primary assist on Connor Garland's goal, I should say, the other night. Or the other
what a
morning
play, man. What a play, dude.
Great play. Great play.
Dude, okay. 4 months ago, he's not making that play, man. He's bobbling the puck or getting it off the boards. But I know it was right in front of him, and that pass was just a clear lane to Garland, okay? Washington just making the dumbest change in the world. I know, but the fact that now he's able to make that play obviously makes us a quote-unquote deeper team, but it makes us ask this question, and more people are asking this question. This is just not a Locked On thing now, okay? I heard it a couple times this morning on other platforms. Yo, like, what's going to happen? Like, who do you want in your lineup when the games really matter? Who are you keeping? Nikita Zadorov, Tyler Myers, or Noah Juulsen? Bro,
yeah,
Juulsen is big to that PK. He's so big to that PK.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a rotation right now. I think Zadorov's the odd man out, right? He's definitely the most fun and exciting player to watch, but in terms of reliability, yeah, he's arguably the least reliable right now. And him playing the left side kind of hurts his case as well, because you already have Hughes, Cole there as well, and then Susie would be ahead of him on the depth chart too. So that's a tough one. I do think it's a rotation at the end of the day, though. And you look at their ice time too, and a lot of it is because Juleson is such a heavy PKer, but their ice time, Juleson and Zadorov, is pretty much identical over the past number of games.
Bro,
so yeah, Zadorov's got to watch out, man. Maybe it is worth trading this guy.
You're listening to Locked On Canucks. This is the greatest half an hour Canucks talk, okay? For real. I'm feeling it because I feel as if I leveled up. We just talked about Surrey Zone. And if you're listening to this, you can do whatever the beep you want in your life, okay? Because if Noah Juleson can do this, again, bro, anything is possible because bro, unbelievable. Anyways, Trevor Beggs, who we shouting out, okay? Who's giving us the love on this episode of Locked On Canucks? Speaking of which, subscribe, hit the like button if you are enjoying today's show.
Yeah, we'll wrap up on the other side. Before I do that, let's shout out FanDuel. NFL season is over, but guess what? You can get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. Bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and more. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
Dude, man, I can't believe Taylor Swift has more or just as many Super Bowl rings as Aaron Rodgers. That's crazy. Okay, we back on this conversation about your Vancouver Canucks, Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs doing the most. And Trevor Beggs, man, rumor has it that you had a Super Bowl party, and not only did you bring or make pickles covered in bacon, you also brought peanut butter and jelly sliders to the party. Now, Beggsy, what's going on there? Like, step it up, man. Dude, it's not preschool, bro.
Dude, are you kidding? Look, do you know who's in my house? I'm a dad of 2. What do you want me to have? Like
peanut butter and jelly sliders.
Come on, man. No, I need the kid food available, man. Honestly, I'm telling you what, for my kid who's 7 months old, I'm scraping tomato sauce off because this guy's reacted to tomato sauce. Just giving him like a plain slice of pizza, man.
Ooh,
I got kids, man. Okay, it's different.
Okay, so jokes aside, like if somebody did show up to your adult 18 plus, the stripper poles are up, one of those Super Bowl parties, and they brought the peanut butter and jelly sliders, are you like shaking your head, or you're like, thanks, man? Because I feel as if peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are up there, man. Simplicity is the best thing ever, and those things never suck.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say no to one. It definitely wouldn't be like my top food for a Super Bowl party, but like if someone brought them, I'm an inclusionist, man. It's all good.
Oh man, I know, man.
Oh, man.
It is what it is.
What? Okay, I know. I tried to ask you before, and you said, "Oh no, I don't watch the Super Bowl." But like, what snack would you bring to a Super Bowl party?
Dude, honestly, there's some samosas that are really, really good that are made near that high school you went to in Surrey. Okay, that make me want to say woo. Okay, speaking of woo, talk about it, man. I didn't see this. I deleted Twitter and using less and less social media these days, right? Trying to read more, blah blah blah. I didn't know Jet Woo got called up. Talk about it, man. What does this mean?
Yeah, look at that. So a little cat move. Carson Soucy moved to IR. Really more of a cat maneuver than anything. And Jet Woo called up. Okay, so Zadorov again suspended for one more game. Mark Friedman got into some action the other night. Took a penalty. But I think the Canucks maybe just want to see what they have in Jet Woo here. And about damn time for this guy. I mean, the Canucks drafted him 5.5 years ago in the second round. It's been a while. And talking to some guys who watch the Abbotsford Canucks on a daily basis, it sounds like really Jet Woo is kind of another version of Mark Friedman. So I guess one of the situations where it's like, this guy's paid his dues. He's playing top pairing in Abbotsford. Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to really be necessarily a regular NHLer, but after the Juleson thing, who knows, man?
Okay.
But yeah, see what this guy's got. Maybe on Tuesday against the Blackhawks, where you're facing a team full of AHLers anyways.
Yeah, reward the guy and ultimately just get to learn more about all your players. I think you can do these things when you're ahead of the standings and, again, playing an AHL team in Chicago. I'm curious to see what we will bring to the table. And, man, like, another guy who just never gave up. Real talk, stay patient, and it's hard not to give up, man. Speaking of giving up, let's end on this note. Mike Shanahan, okay? Is that his name? Right? The San Francisco 49ers head coach?
Well, Mike's his dad, Kyle Shanahan, yeah.
Oh, sorry. There you go. See, I'm a Packers fan, okay? I don't know anything else about the NFL, okay? Kyle Shanahan, this guy. Should he give up coaching? Because, man, oh, man, I'd be heartbroken right now. Like, the way he's lost in the Super Bowl, imagine this, Trevor. Imagine this, okay? Imagine being the 49ers. Now, I know he coached the Atlanta Falcons before, but imagine being the 49ers and then now transfer over to being a Canuck fan again. Imagine losing 3 Stanley Cup finals in 10 years. Like, where would you be in your life? In 10 years? Like, we've lost 3 in 50-plus years. Imagine losing 3 times in 10 years. Bro, I'm moving to Colombia. Colombia or Puerto Rico. I'm running away. I'm selling pears on the beach, okay? Making pear smoothies. I'm giving up.
I mean, I would look at it this way. Maybe I'm I get called the darkest guy in the program. I am a glass half full guy sometimes. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm just thinking I was like a block extra point away from winning the Super Bowl. But, he was kind of the master of his own demise, too. Should have played McCaffrey a bit more. But, like, this guy is one of the best minds in the NFL. It's hard to win. Like, I'm going to say, stick with it. You win eventually. No, I don't feel that way. Plus, F the 49ers. I don't really want them to win. But Kyle Shanahan's one of the brightest minds in the game. So,
Dude,
he's going to make a lot of money to lose anyways, too, man. So, you might.
It's not about the money, bro. It's about the championship, man. You want the confetti, bro. Okay, man, again, let me know in the comments below. We're ending the episode on this note. I know it sounds dark, but I'm just... Man, being a sports fan is so interesting. We're about to enter April too. Like, imagine this. Like, people lost that game against Detroit on Saturday where Wallman did the gritty, and people's Saturdays were ruined, okay? For real. That's just life as a Canucks fan sometimes, okay? It's hard to maneuver. And April's coming up. Playoff games are here. Games are mattering again. Losses are going to hurt more. Imagine. What would you do? Just let me know in the comments below. Like, would you get rid of Wi-Fi in your life? Would you destroy all your TVs if the Vancouver Canucks lost 3 Stanley Cup finals in a span of 10 years? That's crazy. That's San Fran. Unreal. Anyways, Locked On Canucks, hit the like button, subscribe. Shout out to JetWoo. We'll talk more about Carson Soucy tomorrow. Like, I want to break down the math there. Are the Canucks trying to Tampa Bay it? Are they trying to Las Vegas it? Again, think about it. Why not? If you're not cheating, right? What's the quote, Trevor? And on that note, subscribe, hit the like button. What's the quote about cheating? Okay, if you're not cheating, you're not winning. If you're not lying, you're not trying. Right? Right?
Yeah, something like that. I believe you, buddy. I wish I could confirm, but I cannot confirm. But I will confirm that we'll be back tomorrow on Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Hey, if we're going to talk about the cap, maybe we should talk about how the Canucks are going to keep all these guys too, right? What the cap situation looks like next year. That's a sad road to go down, but I'm curious to do that, man. So maybe we'll crunch the numbers on that, talk about the Canucks cap gymnastics, and of course, they cap off the road trip against an AHL team tomorrow night as well. You've been listening to Locked On Canucks, the AHL team of Canucks podcast. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Cal Bowen, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Don't give up. Y'all can do whatever you want. Woo! That was a good one, right? All right. Great show.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team